Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in once again. This is Ben Morales, your personal financial coach. And today's video is going to be a continuation of the last video I did that was called Giving Yourself a Raise Using Your HELOC. So we're going to continue to work with this couple, but now we're going to go to the next phase of the plan that we are creating for them. And this is going to be a phase where first what we did was combine their first position with, or the second position HELOC with their mortgage. And then now they actually have come across a special promotion with their current bank. And this is why I encourage you, you have to shop around. Please shop around and do your homework. There are banks out there that will offer you home equity lines of credit. There's also lots of different credit unions that will do the same for you. So we're going to do a step-by-step, and we're going to see how the offer looks like for them, the promo offer, and then how that's going to impact their balance throughout the course of the time of the offer is going to be in force. So let's take a quick pause and let's talk about what we did in the last videos. Pretty much all we did was we combined the first and the second mortgage, or the mortgage with the second home equity line of credit. So that was important because this home equity line of credit had an interest rate of 10.91. So whenever you do have a second position HELOC, typically they will have a higher interest rate because it's in the second position, right? And if something were to happen, the bank doesn't want to be in the second position. And that's why you see the higher rate, not to mention it's only $25,000. So the advantage of going to this higher interest or higher loan, line of credit rather, is that you're going to get a better interest rate, among the best, because you're at 80% of the loan to value, which is, this is the new HELOC amount. So now that we've taken care of that and we've resumed basically what the next step might be, now we're going to talk about what that special offer is. So we've been doing some research and we found a special offer for them with PNC Bank. Okay, PNC Bank is offering them a 0.25% interest rate, and that interest rate is going to be good for the first 6 months, which is fantastic. That's a good rate for the first 6 months. After this rate is over, they're still going to get a deducted rate of 1.5% of what the interest rate will be after these 6 months. So right now we know right around 7.5 is where the prime rate is right now. So supposing things were to stay the same, and Jerome Powell and the Federal Open Market Committee, they're saying they're going to meet in the next 6 or 7 times that they meet this year, they're probably going to raise or lower interest rate rather once, maybe possibly twice. Let's say they do another quarter of a point. So really good position, because if all things stays the same, 7.5, you'd be looking at an interest rate for the life of the rest of this loan until they pay it back at 6%, which is really good. Now, not only that, this special promotion is also going to give them, for taking this offer, a check in the amount of $2,000. So this is a fantastic, fantastic promotion for them. They already bank with this bank. And this is why I tell you, if you're at a bank that is not offering you a personal line of credit or a HELOC credit, find yourself another bank. Real quick disclosure, PNC is not sponsoring this video, by the way. But because I've known, I worked at the bank and I still have contacts there, we were able to find this great, great deal for them. So what does that look like? Now, how is it going to impact their finances? Well, that's what we're going to show now. So remember, after the last step, we combined it both, and now we're going to start dissecting that. Okay, so now that we know what the promo offer is, which in their case is a really good offer, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what that offer is going to look like over the course of 6 months. Now, we are in the month of March. We're about to go into the last week of March. So we're going to suppose that this deal is taken. They're going to do the application. And typically when you do a home equity line of credit, it usually takes anywhere between 30, maybe 45 days from the process that it begins until the process that it ends. So we're just going to call it a 45-day turnaround time, which means that if they start the process now, sometime maybe by the end of the month of April, possibly already in May, they are going to have to start paying this line of credit back. So based on that example, the 30 to 45-day turnaround, we're going to say that the line of credit is going to start with a balance of $282,312.15. Now, we're going to call that the month of May, right? Hypothetically speaking, doesn't matter what month it does start, but we're going to say it's the month of May. We know that their income is $9,005, right? We also know that for the month of May, their income is $6,196.26. And I say for the month of May because something's going to happen in the month of June. And for the next couple of months, that's actually going to change the amount of expenses that they have. Now, with that special promo rate, right, for the first 6 months of 0.25, they are going to only pay $57.90 of interest, which is absolutely phenomenal. Which means at the beginning of June, they're going to have $279,564.36 as their beginning balance for the month of June. From there, we're going to rinse and repeat the process, but there are some things that are going to change in the month of June, and we're going to discuss that. Their income is not going to change, and hopefully between now and when they pay this mortgage off, their income will change because they're continuing to get raises. But for the most part, in the month of June, the income is going to stay the same. And then you'll notice $9,005 is coming out, but you'll notice also that $2,000 is in red. Where's that $2,000 coming from? Well, once they close the loan or the HELOC in the month of April, 30 days later, they are going to be receiving a check. So we're going to just speculate and say that check is going to come in the month or at the end of the month, May, which means that $2,000 can be reapplied right back into this line of credit, bringing down the balance that they're going to owe and bringing down the amount of interest that's going to be paid as well. So we're going to deduct those $2,000 in the month of June. Something else is going to happen in the month of June. Their kids will be out of school, meaning that their expenses are going to drop as well, right? So if their expenses drop, that means that their cash flow is also increasing for that time period, which means their new expenses is $4,334.26. So if we add back the new expenses for the month of June and the interest, all of a sudden now we're down at $272,950.92. That's going to hold true exactly the same for the month of July, right? And we see that here, interest or loan or HELOC balance, expenses coming out, but then or rather income's coming out, expenses coming in, and then the $56.10 for the month of July. Now, we're going to continue to rinse and repeat for this promotion, but something is going to happen in the month of August. And in the month of August, there's going to be a change once again to their income, rather not the income, but their expenses, which is also going to impact their cash flow. So that's what this is here. So they're starting the month of August, 268, 336, 28. Nothing's changing in terms of the income, but because now their kids are going to be back in school, then the income is going to be impacted by that, or rather the expense is going to be impacted by that. So it's going to be a little bit less of a cost, but the new expenses is going to be $5,634.26. But you can still see it's so much or so little in interest that is still being paid, even though the expenses did go up a little bit, which now brings down their new balance to $265,02.74. In the month of September, they're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to see the new income. And in the month of October, they're going to rinse and repeat, which means what? From the month of May, when they start this special promotional rate, to the month of ending in October, they're going to have a new balance of $258,384.51. Let's do the math and see how much was saved in that time period. We know that we started with 282, 312.15, and now we have a new balance of 258, 384.51. That is a new balance. What does that look like in terms of the actual pay down amount? So what is the difference in how much money was saved, or how much of that balance was paid down in that 6 months with the introductory offer? Well, that amount is going to be $23,927.64. That is how much in a period of 6 months was actually paid down from the original loan amount, or the original HELOC amount of $282,312. So this is just in 6 months. But remember, we said that after the 6 months, right, they're going to be getting an additional deducted rate off of, let's call it, it's going to be 7.5%, which is still a really good rate in terms of a home equity line of credit, because if all things hold true, and this is the rate at the end of the 6 months, just like it currently is now, and the rumors are that before the end of the year is over, the Federal Open Market Committee is going to at least lower rates one more time. But even if they didn't, and that holds true with the prime rate, that means that their rate after these 6 months will be 6%. Now, I know you're asking, how long would it take them to pay the loan with a 6%? Well, we're just going to rinse and repeat the process. I did the math. And after the intro rate ends and they continue to put forth the process, this was 6 months here, and then it will take an additional 6.6 years. So pretty much 6.5 years to completely pay off the balance on the home equity line of credit that they had. So if we take those 6.6 years and 6 months here, right, that it took them to pay off this, or that it took them for this promotional rate, you're talking about 7 years to pay off this home equity line of credit. What do they have at the end of 7 years? They now have access to $332,000 in the HELOC once again. That is the beauty and the power behind leveraging a home equity line of credit, using it as a checking account and putting your income in there to more quickly and efficiently pay off debt. So hope this makes sense to you. Please continue to put comments and suggestions down below. I read them as often as I can, and I try to respond to all of them on a timely basis. So I welcome any comments. I continue to welcome you. Thank you for supporting and believing in the channel. Continue to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video soon. Thank you.